It's time for a daily dose of cope. And it's wild that I have enough material to make these videos every single day. I'm starting with this picture again of Chichi Kachiyama with the face saying, "I voted for you. Why is ICE taking my family?" I have to do this because so many people are confused about. He ran on deportations. Why are so many people confused now that deportations are impacting their families, their businesses? Why are people confused? I do like to hone in on this woman's face just simply because I'm petty. And who is this dude? We got this brown dude holding up a mass deportation sign. And this is the reason why everything is so jacked up right now, because so many people voted against their own interest. This woman right here came to TikTok crying, bawling her eyes out, trying to find some help, up here tagging Trump and Vance and just tagging people like they give a damn because her Venezuelan undocumented boyfriend is about to get deported. Her baby daddy is Venezuelan and undocumented, and she's crying. And she was also a Trump supporter. She has scrubbed her social media presence because she is a Trump supporter, but she voted for Trump and now she's crying about it. And this woman says, voted for Trump, and now she's begging for prayers because her daughter's father might get deported back to Venezuela, Lasai. So that is Renee making that post. But Renee also says, it is exactly what she voted for. I do not understand how nothing that Trump said about immigration during his entire campaign registered for her. Like maybe the boyfriend should have said something too. Like maybe we shouldn't do this. I don't get these people. I'll post her video if you're interested, but I'll post it at the end so people don't just swipe away. Renee says, and get this, she posted videos in the past supporting deportation. When I post videos like this, which isn't even often, it's because I'm baffled by the audacity. CJ says they think he's only going to deport the bad ones. And to that, Chad says, to be fair, he said he was starting with the bad ones. When you say starting with the bad ones, that means that you're going to go down to the not as bad ones, or maybe the good ones. They didn't have the curiosity to even ask questions. They were just like, okay, let me get rid of these people. Like MAGA and Trump have been racist, but MAGAtinos, the people that love MAGAtinos, Blogger, any other colored MAGA baffled the hell out of me. This person at the bottom says, I don't get it, but I'm old. How do y'all know she supported Trump? Is she an influencer or something? This sucks for so many people. And to that, Renee says, not an influencer, but she posted videos confirming her support of Trump. People pointed it out in her comments, and she since deleted this video and other videos about Trump and limited comments on most of her videos that aren't even related to politics. So I'm glad that other people were able to see this and catch her, but it's too bad that she is trying to erase her footprint. But these people know in their own minds when their loved ones get deported that they are part of the reason that their loved ones get deported. Anyone with some sense knew that this was coming. This is titled, U.S. Agriculture Industry Faces Labor Shortages of 155,000 Employees. And I'm totally sure it's even more employees that are missing, but that is what this headline says. This is coming out of Florida. It says the agriculture industry is experiencing the largest labor shortage in nearly a decade. The problem has worsened over the last 4 months with ICE detentions. And I'm going to just go ahead right here and add duh. I just want to highlight this. This could cause prices to spike, and just add another duh here. People are so ignorant to supply and demand, but they're going to get a lesson in how this works. On top of tariffs, we are in for a real treat come the holidays. It's about to get real ugly. We're going to have food shortages, and the food that is on the counters, on the shelves, is going to cost us more money. Yay, go MAGA. Another duh moment. This one's coming out of Texas. Immigration crackdown worsening worker shortage, Texas Restaurant Association says. Y'all, listen to this. The Texas Restaurant Association says the industry is in crisis and is pointing to a growing worker shortage and declining sales across restaurants, bars, and hotels. Now they're urging Congress and the White House to take immediate action by granting work permits to long-term immigrant workers and asking the public to support the effort by signing an online petition. It's not just restaurants feeling the pressure. Hotels, farms, and even the meatpacking industry are also dealing with severe staffing shortages. When asked if American-born workers are filling the gap, Williams says, no, we have not seen a major resurgence of U.S.-born workers taking these jobs, especially in agriculture. One Houston restaurant owner, Oscar Santia of Barria Los Primos, said he's been forced to close 4 food trucks due to lack of workers and customers. 2 of them were located in Colony Ridge, a community hit hard by recent immigration raids. When you get rid of these people were working and living and spending money in these communities. So many people thought that they were just taking. We're only 7 or 8 months into this presidency, and so many places, there's so many articles talking about worker shortages. What did they expect was going to happen when you deport a bunch of the people that actually work in these industries? I live in Las Vegas. It has a big, it's hospitality and tourism. They're doing ICE raids here. What do they think is going to happen, especially when they're clamoring for people to come here? But if you have people that are not working because you have detained them and you're deporting them, what do they think is going to happen? I don't know how these people can't have just looked just a couple of steps forward, but so many people are just dumb and racist, and there's probably a good overlap between that circle. This person named Matt Couch says, why aren't the prices of good, just one good, going down? How are they still rising? He posted this on Twitter. But what's wild about this in Matt Couch? He's a Christian dad, political analyst. He is a political analyst and didn't have the foresight to think about how these prices were actually made. But I guess when you're on Twitter, you can type and be whatever the heck you want to be. Political analyst, I don't know if he's actually analyzed anything. He also says he's an investigator. I'm not sure what he has investigated, but obviously he hasn't investigated how tariffs and deporting the labor industry was going to impact his bottom line. This is a screenshot of a comment that I saw in the Leopards Ate My Face. This person says, one of my former friends voted for Trump. The problem is he works in the wind turbine industry. Oddly enough, he's not getting any work projects anymore. I'm not going to rub it in his face, but I can't imagine how you could vote for someone who literally said he'd take your job away and then be surprised when it went away. My dad's neighbor has a special needs child. They voted for Trump, and because of the cuts in the Department of Education, the local school had to let some people go, one of which was the special education teacher. Now they don't know how they'll be able to pay for their son to get any sort of education because they'll have to pay out of pocket. My neighbor took in foster kids who couldn't stay with their parents full time. They voted for Trump. Guess who isn't getting a tax break for doing that anymore? My neighbor's biological kids are devastated because they considered the foster kids to be like their brother and sister, and now they're gone and likely in a worse spot. I seriously could go on and on about stories like these that I know, but what's the point? If you're too dumb to vote against your own interests, then I'm not sure how to help out. Maybe he meant to say if you're too dumb to not vote against your own interests. And that's where I am. So many of these stories, but I am going to rub it in people's faces because I'm petty like that. And these people deserve to know that they are dumb so that they can maybe make better decisions later. Aren't you tired of seeing so many dumb people crying on the internet for the dumb decisions that they've made and think that they're going to get some sympathy? I'm not one to give sympathy. F them. I went and found the post that comment was connected to. This person says, my parents support Trump. His policies cost me my business. He says, I, 40-year-old man, have owned and managed an electrical contracting company specializing in solar for the last 7 years. I worked my butt off to build a profitable company with integrity. Things were going great, and I could see a reasonably short runway to retirement or semi-retirement. Then Trump took away all incentives for renewables and replace them with tax breaks for fossil fuels. I'm now in the process of selling my business and taking a position working for a large company and making less. My parents don't seem to understand that their decision to vote for Trump and his ilk has directly impacted my life in an extremely negative way. Am I overreacting for telling them I don't want to speak with them until they can at least acknowledge the harm they have caused me? You're absolutely not overreacting. You're not the a-hole. And I completely understand. These voters have impacted all of our lives, and they're going to have to know and understand one way or another. All right, now it's time for this crying video, if you want to stick around and watch it, of this woman that is crying because her baby daddy is getting deported.
How am I supposed to explain to my 3-year-old that her dad might have to leave and she may never see him again? He has loved her. He has loved my son, who is not even his, and taken him in. He has provided for her. I can't explain to you guys how urgent this is. And I don't know who needs to hear this. I know I need prayers for him, and for me, and for my daughter, and for his mom. But more importantly, there's gotta be someone who can help, because this is not fair at all. This is so unfair. And he doesn't deserve it. He is a 24-year-old who has been trying for 10 years to have a good life here. I just ask you guys to please pray and to please just give me any resources that anyone has. Please, I'm begging you. This is not right.